Good morning students, how are you all? Are you studying at home? Very good. Soon you are going to write your half-yearly examination. Now we will discuss the question pattern and we will revise it. Okay? And you are going to write your exam for 15 marks. Okay? How many marks? 15 marks. The first one. Read the passage and answer the questions. Okay? Read the passage and answer the questions. The passage will be given for you and there will be 5 questions. Each question carries 1 mark and totally 5 marks. Second reminder. Look at the picture carefully and answer the questions. Okay? Look at the picture carefully and answer the questions. So in second Roman letter, you will be given a picture and there will be 5 questions. Each question carries 1 mark and totally 5 marks. The third one, read the following lines and complete the story. Read the following lines and complete the story. And there will be a single story. Okay? And the story will carry 3 marks. Fourth one, identify the types of pronouns. Identify the types of pronouns. There will be 4 sentences and each sentence carry half mark and totally 2 mark. Fifth one, identify the adjective and its types. Identify the adjectives and its types. So there will be 5 and each carries 1 mark and totally 5 marks. The sixth one, write the underlined words are common noun or proper noun. Write the underlined words are common noun or proper noun. So there will be 6 and each carries half mark and totally 3 marks. And the seventh one, underline the countable and uncountable noun. Underline the countable noun and uncountable noun, and it will be given 4 and each carries half mark and totally 2 marks. The eighth one, name adverbs for the following words. Name adverbs for the following words. So they will be given 6 words and each words carry half mark and totally 3 marks. And the ninth one, write the adverbial phrase for the following. Write the adverbial phrase for the following. So there will be 5 sentences and each carries 1 mark and totally 5 marks. And the 10th one, fill in the blanks with suitable prepositions. Fill in the blanks with suitable prepositions. So there will be 6 sentences and each carries half mark and totally 3 marks. So the 11th one is the synonyms. Okay, synonyms. There will be 4 synonyms. Each synonym carries 1 mark and totally 4 marks. And the 12th one is antonyms. So in antonyms also there will be 4 questions and each carries 1 mark and totally 4 marks. And the 13th one is the past tense. So in past tense there will be 4 past tense. Each carries half mark and totally 2 marks. And the next one is the rhyming words. There will be 4 rhyming words. Each rhyming words carries half mark and totally 2 marks. And at last, answer the following questions. Answer the following questions. There will be 2 questions. Each question carries 1 mark and totally 2 marks. So this is the question pattern for your quarterly exam. And you are going to write for 3 marks. Now let us discuss one by one. Okay students, now let us see how to write the reading comprehension. Okay, we will give a passage for you. So what you have to do? First you have to read the passage carefully. Okay, I have given some points for you. So you have to follow these points while writing the reading comprehension. Now let us see those points. First, read the passage carefully. Understand the meaning. Read the passage twice. Then read the given questions. Write the exact answer from the given passage. So what is the first point? What you have to do? You have to read the passage carefully. So you have to read the given sentences carefully. Understand the meaning. So the second point is the understanding. Okay, after reading the passage, you have to understand what they have given in the passage. Read the passage twice. So you should not read once. You have to read the passage 2 times. Okay, so that you can able to grasp the meaning of the passage. Then read the given questions. So after understanding the passage, you have to move on to the questions. So they will give you some questions related to the passage. Write the exact answer from the given passage. So after reading the question, you have to choose the answer from the given passage. Okay, shall we see it once again? Read the passage carefully, understand the meaning, read the passage twice, then read the given questions, write the exact answer from the given passage. Have you understood how to write the reading comprehension? Okay. Now let us move on to picture comprehension. Okay. The first one. Look at the picture carefully. Identify the things given. Read the questions below. Write the exact answer from the picture. So this picture comprehension is also like the reading comprehension. So what you have to do first? You have to look at the picture carefully. So you have to look at the picture carefully. Identify the things given. So you have to identify what are all the things that is given in the picture. Read the questions below. So after observing the picture, you have to move on to the question. So we will give you some questions below the picture. You have to read those questions. Write the exact answer from the picture. So after reading the questions, you have to write the answer from the given picture. Okay. So look at the picture carefully. Identify the things given. Read the questions below. Write the exact answer from the picture. Okay. I understood the picture comprehension. Shall we move on to the story writing? So the third one is the story writing. So we have already discussed how to write a story. So I have given you 3 points. Okay. The first point is read the given sentences. Read the given sentences. So we will give you 2 or 3 or 4 sentences. So you have to read those sentences first. Understand their meaning. So after reading, what you have to do? You have to understand the meaning of those sentences. Frame sentences by your own to complete the story. So the story will be incomplete. Okay. The story will be incomplete. So you have to frame sentences by your own to complete the story, and you have to make it as a meaningful story. Okay. Read the given sentences. So first point is you have to read the sentences, understand their meaning. So after reading, you have to understand the meaning of those sentences. Frame sentence by your own to complete the story. And the third point is you have to frame your own story. Okay, you can edit your own story and have to complete it. Okay, you have to complete it, and you have to complete the story in a meaningful way. So I have given you one example. Okay. Once there was a crow. So you have already know the story. Okay. Once there was a crow. It was very thirsty. It found a pot with little water. There were some stones. Okay. There were some stones. So this story is incomplete. Okay. What you have to do? You have to frame the story by your own. So the first point is once there was a crow. It was very thirsty. So after reading this, you have to understand. Okay. So there was a crow who lived. How the crow was? The crow was very thirsty. So it found a pot with little water. So what did the crow found? The crow found a little water in the pot. There were some stones. So the crow found a few stones. What did the crow do? The crow will put those stones into the pot and the water level rises, and after that the crow will drink those water. So like that you have to complete the story by framing sentences by your own. Okay, have you understood how to write a story writing? Read the given sentences. So first of all you have to read. Okay, understand their meaning. So after reading you have to understand the meaning of those sentences. Frame sentences by your own to complete the story. So you have to the story will be incomplete. Okay, so you have to frame story by your own. So like that you have to write the story writing. Have you understood this? Shall we move on to the next one? The next one is the pronouns. Okay, the next one is the pronouns. So the types of pronouns are personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, and interrogative pronoun. So we have already discussed the types of pronouns. The first one is personal pronoun, and second one is the possessive pronoun, and the third one is the demonstrative pronoun, and the fourth one is the interrogative pronoun. So the personal pronoun are I, we, you, he, she, it, they, me, him, her, us, and them. So these are called as the personal pronoun. And the possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, her, its, own, us, theirs. So these words are called as the possessive pronouns. And and the demonstrative pronouns are this, these, that, those. Okay, these words refers to demonstrative pronouns. And interrogative pronouns. So interrogative pronoun means these are question words. Okay, who, whom, whose, when, where, how, and which. So these are called as the interrogative pronoun. So in your exam, we will give you some sentences. Okay, we will give you some sentences, and we will underline the word. So you have to guess whether it is personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, or interrogative pronoun. So I will give you some example for you. I live in Chennai. Okay, I live in Chennai. So this I has been underlined. This I has been underlined, and you have to find out what pronoun is this. So what pronoun is this? The I comes under the personal pronoun. Okay, so you have to write personal pronoun. The second one. This is so amazing. This is so amazing. So this has been underlined, and you have to find out what pronoun is this. So this comes under demonstrative pronoun. Like this. How are you? And the word how has been underlined. We have to identify what pronoun is this, and the how comes under interrogative pronoun. Okay, have you understood? So like this, in your exam, we will give you some questions, and you have to identify whether it is personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, or interrogative pronoun. So before that, you have to keep in your mind these words. Okay, so that you can be able to find out those pronouns. The next one we are going to see is adjectives and its types. Okay. So an adjective modifies or gives more information about the noun. So what is meant by adjective? The adjective gives more information about the noun. So we have already know what is meant by noun. Noun is the name of the person, place, thing, or the animal. So it gives more information about the noun, and that is known as the adjective. So now we are going to see the types of adjectives. We have seen two types of adjectives. What are they? Attributive adjective and predicative adjective. So attributive adjective means it comes before the noun or the pronoun. So attributive adjective means it comes before the noun or the pronoun. Example: the gorgeous dress. The gorgeous dress. So what is the noun in the sentence? Very good. So dress is the noun in this sentence. So the adjective comes before the noun. So the adjective is gorgeous because it describes the dress. So how the dress is. Okay, the dress is very gorgeous. So this word is a describing word, and it comes before the noun. So it is known as the attributive adjective. And the next one is predicative adjective. So predicative adjective means it comes after the noun or pronoun. Okay. Predicative adjective comes after the noun or the pronoun. Example: the dress is gorgeous. So the dress is gorgeous. The dress is the noun, and the adjective comes after the noun. So it is known as the predicative adjective. So in your exam, there will be given sentences, and you have to find the adjective and to find whether it is attributive adjective or predicative adjective. Okay. So adjectives and its types. Adjective modifies or gives more information about the noun. So this adjective is of two types: attributive adjective and predicative adjective. So the attributive adjective comes before the noun or pronoun, and the predicative adjective comes after the noun or the pronoun. Okay, so you have to find out the adjective and its type. Okay. So next we are going to see about nouns. So what is meant by noun? Noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or an animal. Okay, noun is the name of the person, place, thing, or an animal. So in nouns we have seen 4 types. Okay, what are they? Common noun, proper noun, countable noun, uncountable noun. Now let us see what is meant by common noun. So common noun means we know that it is of mentioning the general name. Okay, common noun means it is of mentioning the general name. Example: the boy is tall. Okay, I have given you the example as the boy is tall. So what is the noun here? Very good. The noun is boy. Okay, so this boy is not given a specific name. He has been mentioned in the general name, okay, boy. So it is known as the common noun. And the second one is the proper noun. Proper noun means it is of mentioning a specific name. It is of giving somebody or someone a specific name. Okay. Example: Ram is tall. Ram is tall. So Ram is a boy, and that boy has been given a specific name as Ram. Okay. So that is known as the proper noun. Look at so in common noun we have mentioned the boy as a general name. Okay. But in proper noun we have mentioned the boy with the name as Ram. Okay. Specific name. So in common noun the boy has been mentioned in the general name, and in proper noun the boy has been mentioned in a specific name as Ram. And the next one is countable noun. So countable noun means things that can be able to count. So countable noun means it's nothing that we can be able to count them. So this countable noun can be in both singular or plural. Okay. So example: tables, pens. So we can be able to count the tables and pens. Yes, we can be able to count the tables and pens. So the things that can able to count are known as countable noun. And the next one is uncountable noun. Uncountable noun means things that cannot able to count. Okay, so this uncountable is opposite to the countable noun. So in uncountable noun we can't able to count the things. Example: stars, cheese, oil. Can we able to count these things? No, it is impossible to count those things. So it is known as the uncountable noun. Shall we recall it from first? Nouns. Noun is nothing but it is the name of a person, place, thing or an animal. So in nouns we have seen 4 types. And what are they? Common noun, proper noun, countable noun, uncountable noun. And the common noun means it is of giving a general name. It is of mentioning a person or a thing with a general name. Example: the boy is tall. And the next one is proper noun. The proper noun means it is of giving a specific name to somebody or someone. So example: Ram is tall. And third one is countable noun. So countable noun means things that can be able to count. Okay, so that is known as the countable noun. Uncountable noun means things that cannot be able to count. So uncountable means we can't able to count the things. Have you understood what is meant by nouns and those types? Shall we move on to the adverbs? Okay, the next one we are going to see is about the adverbs. Adverbs are words that tells how an action is done. So we already know what is meant by adverbs. It tells us how the action has been taken place. They are formed by adding ly to the adjective or describing word. So this adverb are formed by adding ly. So this will form by adding ly to the word to adjectives or describing words. So we have already seen what is meant by adjective. Okay. So this adverb will be formed by adding ly to the adjective or describing word. So this adjective is also called as the describing word. Okay. Example: slow plus ly, slowly. And this slow is known as the adjective. Okay, this slow is known as the adjective. So when we add ly, it forms slowly. Okay, when we add ly to the adjective, it forms slowly, and this slowly is known as the adverb. Okay, adverbs are words that tells us how an action is done. So this slow, it gives us information that how the action has been done. They are formed by adding ly. So by adding ly, we get the adverb. Okay, likewise, loud plus ly is lovely. So loud is the adjective. When we add ly to the adjective, it gives lovely, the adverb. Okay. When an adjective ends in y, we change the y to I and then add ly. When an adjective ends in y, we change the y to I and then add ly. So what happens if the adjective ends in y? For example, easy. So how it ends? What is the last letter of the word? The letter ends with the word ends with the letter y. So what we have did? We change the y to I. Okay. So we have removed this y, and instead of this y, we have added I and then ly. Okay, so after adding I, we have added ly at the last of the word. Easy, easily. Angry, angrily. Sorry. When an adjective ends in y, we change the y to I and then add y. Easy, easily. Angry, angry. Shall we read from first? Adverbs means adverbs are words that tells how an action is done. They are formed by adding ly to adjectives or describing words. Example: slow plus ly, slowly; loud plus ly, loudly. When an adjective ends in y, we change the y to I and then add ly. Example: easy, easily; angry, angrily. Next we are going to see adverbial phrase. Okay, an adverbial phrase is a group of words that gives more information about the verb. It answers to the questions how much, when, where. Okay, adverbial phrase means it's nothing but it is a group of words. It's not a single word. It is a group of words that gives more information about the verb. So this adverbial phrase gives more information, lot of information about the verb. Verb means doing some action. Okay, so it gives more information about the verb. It answers to the questions how much, where, when and where. So this adverbial phrase will answers to the question words like how much, when and where. Now let us see the example. They are playing in the ground. They are playing in the ground. So what is the subject here? The subject in the sentence is they. And what is the verb? Very good. The verb is playing. So this sentence gives more information about the verb. Okay, because they means it refers to somebody. Okay, someone has been playing. But where they are playing in the garden. So it gives information about the verb. It gives an additional information about the verb that where they are playing. They are playing in the garden, and it also answers to the question word where. Okay. So how do you ask question for this sentence? Where are they playing? So it answers to the question word where, and the answer is they are playing in the garden. Okay. The next example. I would like to go to the zoo. I would like to go to the zoo. So how will I ask question? Where do you like to go? Okay, where do you like to go? So the answers to the question were where. I would like to go to the zoo. And this to the zoo is the adverbial phrase because it answers to the question word where. Likewise, in the garden is the adverbial phrase because it answers to the question word where. So, if the sentence answers to the question word how much, when and where, it is known as the adverbial phrase. Okay, have you understood? An adverbial phrase is a group of words that gives more information about the verb. So, in the sentence, it gives more information about the verb playing, and this also gives more information about the verb go. Okay, it answers to the question words how much, when and where. Okay, have you understood what is meant by adverbial phrase? Shall we move on to the next? Next we are going to see is the preposition. Okay, preposition means a preposition is a word that links the noun and the other words in a sentence. So preposition means it is also a word. It connects the words or the connects the noun or the other words in a sentence. So in preposition we have seen three types. Okay, the preposition of time, the preposition of place, the preposition of direction. We have seen three types. And what are they? Preposition of time, preposition of place, preposition of direction. So in preposition of time, it answers to the question when. Okay, in preposition of time, it answers to the question when. And the examples of preposition of time are in, on, at, before, after. Okay, the preposition of time includes the words like in, on, at, before, after. Example: I woke up at 10 o'clock. I woke up at 10 o'clock. And at is the preposition word. It links the other words in a sentence. Okay, it is the center of the sentence and also links the other words in a sentence. So it is known as the preposition of time, and it answers to the question what when. When do you woke up? So it answers I woke up at 10 o'clock. Next one, preposition of place. Preposition of place. So this preposition of place answers to the question word where. Okay, where, and it includes the words like under, above, in, on, at. Okay, this preposition of place includes the words like under, above, in, on, at. Example: I kept the book under the table. I kept the book under the table. So what is the preposition in the sentence? Very good. Under is the preposition. So how we ask question? Where do you keep the book? Okay, I kept the book under the table. So the answer to the question word where. So it is known as the preposition of place. And the last one is preposition of direction. So this preposition of direction includes the words like to, into, of, from. Okay, so this preposition of direction includes the words like to, into, of, from. And the example: Raju comes from Dubai. Raju comes from Dubai. So it represents the direction that where Raju is coming from. Okay, he comes from Dubai. Have you understood the preposition? So preposition means it is a word that takes the noun and the other words in a sentence. And this preposition is of three types: preposition of time, preposition of place, preposition of direction. And this preposition of time will answer to the question word when. And the preposition of place answers to the question word where. And the preposition of direction includes the words to, into, of, from. So it also answers to the question word where. Okay students, now let us revise the synonyms. Correlate, connect. Correlate, connect. Cease, stop. Cease, stop. Briny, salty. Briny, salty. Demand, insist. Demand, insist. Intent, plan. Intent, plan. Cargo, goods. Cargo, goods. Fragile, damaged. Fragile, damaged. Detector, indicator. Detector, indicator. Conveyor, carrier. Conveyor, carrier. Trip, excursion. Trip, excursion. Slender, thin. Slender, thin. Outdoors, area outside the shelters. Outdoors, area outside the shelters. Cider, alcoholic drinks made from apple juice. Cider, alcoholic drinks made from apple juice. Toddler, a child who is just beginning to walk. Toddler, a child who is just beginning to walk. Accumulated, gather. Accumulated, gather. Ferocious, violent. Ferocious, violent. God, protect. God, protect. Callous, cruel. Callous, cruel. Marvel, wonder. Marvel, wonder. Linger, continue to exist. Linger, continue to exist. Antonyms: complain, praise. Complain, praise. Guest, host. Guest, host. Separated, connected. Separated, connected. Natural, artificial. Natural, artificial. Young, old. Young, old. Straight, winding. Straight, winding. Leaves, arrives. Leaves, arrives. Larger, smaller. Larger, smaller. Soft, hard. Soft, hard. Loose, tight. Loose, tight. Outdoors, indoors. Outdoors, indoors. Slender, fat. Slender, fat. Alone, together. Alone, together. Regular, irregular. Regular, irregular. Older, younger, older, younger. Large, small, large, small. Love, hatred, love, hatred. Little, small, little, small. Rich, poor, rich, poor. Kind, cruel, kind, cruel. Next one is past tense. Tell, told, tell, told. Go, went, go, went. Wake, woke, wake, oak. Know, knew, know, knew. Help, helped, help, helped. Learn, learnt, learn, learnt. Take, took, take, took. Begin, began, begin, began. Go, went, go, went. Start, started, start, started. Fight, fought, fight, fought. Know, knew, know, knew. Say, said, say, said. Find, found, find, found. So the next one is the rhyming words, okay? Say, day, room, broom. See, me, care, rat. So you can also write it by your own also. Write a few sentences about Aesop. Write a few sentences about Aesop. Aesop was a great storyteller who lived in Greece a long time ago. He has written more than 600 fables. Aesop was a great storyteller who lived in Greece a long time ago. He has written more than 600 fables. Why it is important for young children to read Aesop fables? Why it is important for young children to read Aesop fables? It is important for young children to read Aesop fables because they can learn ethical values from these stories. It is important for young children to read Aesop fables because they can learn ethical values from these stories. The third question. What are boarding passes? What are boarding passes? Boarding passes are the tickets that permit you to enter the airplane. Boarding passes are the tickets that permit you to enter the airplane. What is a stopover? What is a stopover? A stopover is when the airplane stops in a different city before continuing to the final destination. A stopover is when the airplane stops in a different city before continuing to the final destination. What is a scale? What is a scale? A scale is the equipment that tells you the weight of your luggage. A scale is the equipment that tells you the weight of your luggage. What did Johnny Appleseed's family make from apples? What did Johnny Appleseed's family make from apples? Johnny Appleseed's family made sauce, ciders, butter and vinegar from apples. Johnny Appleseed's family made sauce, ciders, butter and vinegar from apples. Where did Johnny collect the apple seeds? From where did Johnny collect the apple seeds? Johnny collected the apple seeds from the cider mills. Johnny collected the apple seeds from cider. Okay students, we have revised everything for your half-yearly examination. Study well at home and do your exams well. Okay, all the best for your examination. Thank you.